Sometimes I think about the future, and I think about our past, and I think about the day we have a planet, have a mast. Think about the forests and the fracking and the leaks, but I don't think about politicians that don't believe.
Aloha mai kako, and welcome to our show Keholani Cares, where we present issues that affect our everyday lives here on our island, Moko'o Keawe. We ask questions of community members, mainly countrymen and women of this Hawaii Pai'aina, and those directly connected with us. We do this in an effort to present a collective group of people, ourselves, your neighbors, whose voices other media sources will censor, distort, narrate over, or disregard altogether. It is important that our voices be heard, especially while under international distress.
Our music, our language, and our dance at the Merrie Monarch is reflective of who we are and the contemporary styles that have come out of hula today.
And that those originating from other homelands outside of this Hawaii Pai'aina afford the same respect to our countrymen and women that you would expect from foreigners visiting or residing in your respective nations of origin.
Come on, honest Americans, come on down!
After listening from this perspective, Pule, decide on a moral and ethical course of action, then unify with those seeking remedy. Mahalo nui. Let us now begin our show.
And now we have our national anthem in Hawaii. Oh, sing, can you see by the dawn's early light, which shall
Aloha, we're here with Kawi. We're across the street from the mural that the mayor had censored. Kelly, you said you know the artist.
I not personally, but I know where his shop is, and I've said hi to him a few times. I've conversed with him just a little bit.
Wonderful. And this shirt?
It says the battle for Hawaii, and then on the back it has him and I think another artist. I believe it's like 2 more shirts that he puts out there about the Merrie Monarch and how it is, how it's banned, and how it was banned anyway. But I think it's pretty awesome.
You mean the mural as far as that was banned. Now, how do you feel about the mural, about his message, his shirts, his artistry? Why does it appeal to you?
I love his art. I like it because it's so real. Mm-hmm. I like it, and there's actually a story behind it. There's actually something behind it. I mean, every art has something behind it, but it's like, this is really deep. This is kind of deep stuff, and this is kind of stuff that people keep putting aside, like TMT or like just Hawaiian culture in general. And
putting it aside, you mean kind of burying it?
Yeah.
It's not
like this, for example. Like the mayor is having him hide the gun. Like, you know what I mean? Just that, for example.
Right. The censorship.
Yeah. How he's just trying to prove a point. Like, it's our Hawaiian culture. It's just disappearing day by day. Right. I think that's what his story is. I told him, I was like, you guys shouldn't even cover it. You guys should just keep doing it. Like, that was my thought, because the only reason why they think they can get away with getting away with it is because we let them get away with it. Like, okay, for example, like when there was TMT, like everybody went up there, everybody everybody did what they had to do, but people still got arrested.
And all those who got arrested, most of them were thrown out. The cases were thrown out.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
So you're right. It wasn't
So, I
legitimate.
mean, there's so much stuff that goes on, and it's kind of weird. Like there's like little things that the mayor will focus on, whether there's these like really really big things
Right.
like Pakalo, like the bombing. It affects everybody's water. Like it just leads to other things, and they focus on simple things.
Right.
Like a gun on a wall with, you know what I mean? Like that's
Right.
very little. Like everybody has their own opinion, but I just think it's beautiful. I think it's so amazing. To even stand out there in the heat too and paint it for the message is freaking bomb. Like
I agree.
I know that the red represents the blood that just is
Right.
supposed to be dripping down. And
Very powerful. Aloha kako, Kehalani here with Noelani. We're about to start the Merrie Monarch Parade, and I noticed the flags were of all different colors.
Aloha no onoelani ke ia. The flags, these are the original crests of Hawaii. We have the royal twins, Kamanawa and Kamemoku. And these colors that you see, red is for Moku Okeawe, Hawaii. We have Kauai, which is purple, which is Moku o Kamuali'i. We have Maui, Moku o Kahikili. And also the last one, we have Hawaii, the blue one, which is all the islands. Why do we have only 3 islands? Because prior to the state becoming 1959, these were the 3 major islands in the territorial, meaning that the capital was on Lahaina, Maui. And so the capital moved to Oahu because of the businessmen. And so I'm going to pre-territorial time and bringing the truth out. And thank you for sharing this. And these are custom made, so anyone interested, please come and seek me under the big tent.
Great. Mahalo nui.
Ai. Aloha.
Aloha, this is Kealani. I'm here with Kainoa. We're out in front of the Broken Heart Fine Art Gallery, soft opening tonight. Week of Merrie Monarch. Keone Payton is the artist, and he was just in the news recently. He did a mural, and it was censored by the mayor. So I'm going to ask Kainoa a few questions. He knows a little bit about the mural and about the artist. And how do you feel about what had happened?
Well, now that Keone's art has been exposed and it's open to everyone's eyes to see that America has really overrun Hawaii with ammunition, and we're in a constant war with America. But you know, we always try to kill with aloha, is what we say. But I totally disagree on what has just happened. I'm with Keone and his artistic expression and his freedom of speech. So now that people are awake and conscious about this, we can definitely impact other people now. Now it's not hidden now, so people know the truth behind what's going on.
We heard that the mayor actually ordered him to paint up a gun that a hula dancer was carrying.
He asked them to screen it out because they felt they didn't understand the vision of what he was going for.
Now, do you feel that's biased? Excuse me. Do you feel that's biased because it is Merrie Monarch Week? It was a hula dance from the gun.
Yes.
And at every Merrie Monarch ceremony or competition,
yes,
they have the royal court come in.
Yes.
And they say remain standing for our national anthem, and they
Yes.
play the United States war song as our national anthem. On top of that, if you notice in the Merrie Monarch Parade,
Yes.
who makes a presence, a huge presence in our Merrie Monarch Parade?
Correct.
The military.
The military, yes. And what's funny about that, I don't say the flag pledge. Like, I wait till Hawaii Pono'i comes on, especially around the Merrie Monarch. You know, a lot of people is very heavy on that subject. But there's usually every Merrie Monarch, there's a mural that always appears somewhere in Hilo.
Wonderful.
So I'm glad that this was, you know, it happened like this. It's bittersweet. You know, it's very bittersweet, but I'm glad things are lined up like this.
Yeah, it worked out well.
Yeah.
For Keone. Hi, we're here at the Merrie Monarch. I'm here with Sai. Sai's been feeding audiences for 28 years. And what inspires you to feed us?
Well, my sister used to dance for Kanakaole many years ago, and I was one of the guys helping in the back, you know, getting them dressed and carrying all their implements. And then about 28 years ago, I got shanghaied by the Tribal Women of Hawaii, of which we are commemorating Leigh Branco, who was a member who recently passed away. She was formerly the parade chairman for many years, and then she handed it off to Missy Kaleohano. And I've been in the parade for 23 years with the Shriners.
Wow. Now, she recently passed.
Yes. Sadly.
Yeah.
That's why I have the little banner up there for her tonight.
Yeah, to remember her for her contribution to the Merrie Monarch.
Dedication for many, many years. Just like everybody else here. You know, everybody loves hula, and this is hilo. It's special.
And you'll be here next year?
Unfortunately, as long as they're here, I'm here.
You love it.
Or not. Yeah, I love the action, you know, the excitement. And my sister was such a good dancer, and I really miss that. She passed away about 16 years ago, so
Sorry to
that's
hear.
my way to remember her.
Oh, that's so nice. So it's a memorial, and it's a community service, and you'll be in the parade.
Yep, with the Shriners.
And look for his bike, yes?
Yep, little white Harley.
Nice. Okay, thank you, Sai.
Thanks, Eve.
All right.
Aloha, I'm here with Keone and Dante. Keone and Dante are the artists that painted the mural, the beautiful mural, the Aloha Aina mural, that I guess expresses the beauty and the struggle of the Hawaiian Kingdom, of the land called Hawaii Aina. So we wanted to ask them a few questions about what was your vision, what was the message you were trying to convey in painting that?
Well, that, you know, so when the missionaries landed, you know, the first thing that they did was, and it's ironic that they made us paint over it, because the first thing they did when they didn't understand hula was ban it. They said it's too sexual, you know, only heathens do those dances and stuff. You know, when you have a community that has no culture, they don't understand a community that does. You know, there's no relation, so there's no understanding. So when we painted it, you know, the history of hula was hidden because it was outlawed and illegal. So they hid the dances underground, and also the music. So like he's a music producer also too. So with hula and art, you know, art is your voice. You know, everybody uses art as expression, music as expression. You hide messages and meanings in art, whether it's music or visual arts and stuff. And that's the kind of thing that we did. But you know, we were gonna weave music sheets into it and stuff. But before we could even finish it, and actually we just started it, and we rented this lift that was $300 a day. So we had to finish the hula girl first. And they saw the AK-47, and then they were like, take that down.
And who is they?
Well, Willow Cobby was sent down. It was a rep. He spoke to Dante, and then he told him, he said, well, you're gonna have to paint over that or take the gun out. And we're like, oh wait, what's going on? How come?
While we were painting it, we had a bunch of people come up to us like, this is beautiful. This is amazing. And then we get there the first thing in the morning, and there's this guy taking pictures, and I thought he was another one. Like, this is beautiful. And then I said, yeah, this is gonna come out all right. What do you think? He's like, who's the artist? Yeah, we're gonna need you to take care of that. And then he pointed straight to the gun, and then he didn't really ask what it was about. He didn't question the intent behind it. He just it's kind of really reactionary. And I'm not naive. Like, I know what's going on.
Right.
I understand the sensitivities. But if it's just a rendition of a thing. It's not the thing. And if we can't even render stuff anymore without sparking a debate or conversation, or at least beginning that conversation to figure out what is the real problem behind it. Right. That's all it was meant, you know. Among other things, one of the things it was meant to do was to spark a conversation. Right. And then once that conversation gets started, then we can get into the deeper meaning of what it means. And it doesn't mean violence. Like a weapon is quite literally a tool that you use to protect yourself, right, your family, and your culture.
Right.
And so having that culture be protected in with that type of symbolism was really important to the message. So kind of bummed that we didn't get the message out and then it was judged at less than 20% of the thing was done before we were told that, yeah, take it down.
Now, Willow Copy, he works in the mayor's office.
Yeah.
Mayor's right-hand man.
Yeah.
And he's the one that didn't care to ask the meaning or the symbolism.
Well, he said, so this is exactly what he said. We need to take care of that, take that down, what's going on here, tell me about it. And then we tried to explain, we explained it to him. He went in the corner, he called the mayor, he came back and he said, yeah, you know what? We're gonna let you express yourself here and see what happens. And then he went straight to this, he started to bully the store owner. Like the store owner's such a sweet woman.
Yeah.
I wish she would have just told us right then and there.
Yeah.
No, like she didn't deserve any of that. So I felt really bad actually. Probably go end up buying a sofa or something. So she had enough respect to ask what it was about first. You know, kind of get the other side of what the art was supposed to represent.
Right.
And it wasn't until she started getting bombarded by the mayor's office and call after call. And, you know, she'd say, okay, they're telling me that you have to change this. And then we go and change it. And then she'd get on the phone and detail exactly what we did and ask them if it was enough. And then, oh no, maybe you can put a flower over it. And it's like, that's not the message. So, you know, like I felt really bad. Because she was like, yeah, she was... Yeah, or covered completely with something that was kind of the opposite of what it was meant to represent. It was meant to represent people using music as a weapon to protect their culture when everything else was taken away.
Right.
So you take your bullets and your gunpowder and your property and your land and everything, but they can't take the music.
Right.
Because the music is in here. So.
And you know, it's also a biblical message.
Yes.
When the Jews or the Israelites went to rebuild the wall around Jerusalem, they had a sword in one hand and a tool in the other. One to rebuild, one to fight off the opposition. So a biblical message is now being censored, a cultural message is now being censored. And there was no court proceeding, there was no warrant, there was only bully the store owner until she does what we want her to do. Now, I have a question. We discussed this a little bit.
Excuse me.
It is Merrie Monarch Week. Sure. It was just a beautiful painting, real flowy, and it just, again, your message came clear to many people, and it resonated with us. And in fact, I ran down there to take a picture next to it, and I said, "What?" when I saw the red marking.
Yeah.
Because within the dance, I believe it was a means of worship, and also it was a means to train.
Yeah.
Correct. Warriors, because it's a dance, so they won't know that they're training for battle. So there is that already in the roots of hula.
Yeah.
Okay. So my concern is this: they're taking a gun out of an art piece in a hula dancer's hand during Merrie Monarch. Wouldn't then it be fair that they take the guns and the military presence out of the Merrie Monarch parade? The Merrie Monarch parade is about hula.
Yeah.
And the military has a huge presence. Last year they brought, I don't know the technical name, but it was the people mover that they used to move all the Standing Rock water protectors out of the way in our Merrie Monarch parade. To me, that was offensive. And to me, that symbolized Hawaiians know your place.
Yeah.
This is ours, we took it, and you stay where you belong.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, wouldn't it be fair to approach the mayor and say, if we take a gun out of a hula dancer's hand in a painting, then shouldn't you take the guns out of our Merrie Monarch?
Absolutely. And, you know, what happens in a lot of these situations is not necessarily, you know, that they want you to do something. It's an absolute lack of consistency, and it's like a double standard that they place on, you know, the natives. There are double standards that are happening right now. One thing that was really cool is that it brought out a lot of the community that were just tired of the double standard that's going on with the mayor's office. Like the mayor's office will protect someone saying, you know, talking bad about negatively about the really good
about the road.
Yeah. Had he not said anything, right? Had he not said anything, it wouldn't have acted like a magnet for people that are pissed off at him. You know what I mean?
It brought more attention to it, and it started this dialogue.
Yeah, absolutely. But one of the things also is that, you know, our message started as one thing, 20% of the way it had to change into something else. It became the censored box. So it became something totally new and hopefully bigger.
Technology nowadays, you can take a picture with your phone and there's a text option on it that you can write a message in that red censored box. So you can write censor, you can write your name, you can
write your
fake
idea.
save, you can write whatever you want. It becomes very personable to the person taking the picture.
I love these young ones too.
Right. And that, again, like you were saying, sends another message.
Yeah.
Maybe even a stronger message. It's not just a bias. It's not just a double standard. It's unlawful.
Yeah.
It's a violation of
infringement
rights.
Yeah.
Right. And that's where it becomes a real issue. And that's the issue we've been facing for 200 years.
But another lady, the lady that owns the Hilo Burger joint, she came down. The guy right across her, he has negative, slanderous things, posters and stuff, and Harry Kim defends him, saying that's freedom of speech. But you know why he defends him? There's no message. There's no tying to TMT. There's no tying to Mauna Kea. There's no tying to Pakulo. The morning that he did it, the same morning that Okabe came in, the same morning I read in the newspaper, or on my phone actually, that they found out that Oha unlawfully leased the land to the Pakulo land to the military.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So they saw the message coming up that they knew would create dialogue and questions. They tried to just kill it right there.
Right. And in doing so, it brought more attention
It did.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for your time and for your art. And
Keep it
I'm
up.
glad,
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations on your opening.
Thank you for coming.
And it's just message after message. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you. Mahalo.
Aloha kako. We're here with Shelly at the Merrie Monarch Parade, getting ready to start. Shelly, I just want to ask you, what prompted you to march in the parade today?
Well, I figured that I'd like to come out and just show my support. And this would probably be the second actual parade I've been to, so I'm like happy about that. I've been in Hawaii a long time, and then also have some things to share with different people here. I was actually able to track one Kumu down right at Discount Fabric Warehouse as he was getting his material for the Merrie Monarch. But I just want to say I'm a United States citizen. I'm a patriot to my country. But I found out about the illegal overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom January 17th, 1893. So many different countries were involved actually, but I'm putting forth under consultation and whatnot is we want to free Hawaii, and we want to look at the Treaty of Friendship, Commerce, and Navigation and bring everybody together. And then also there's some really big news that up at the UN. So turns out that the folks up there are all considering that actually Hawaii is under a strange form of occupation, and that in the course of it, if applied to the UN, then they can give them, the Hawaiian Kingdom, 2 years to fill all their vacancies. So we're looking at filling vacancies from Kamehameha III statute book, 1845, 1846. There's different constitutions and laws. So it's also that we want to ask folks on every island that if you'd like to host a discussion on the Mo'okuauhau, that's a genealogical challenge for the throne. And so different, folks are looking into all the validity of it, but here on this side here is a list that it was said it was commissioned by Kamehameha III, Kuigaoli, and it was making the children of the royal school eligible for the throne by law.
In case he didn't have children.
That's right. But of course he did have children. But so the thing was, it was under different uncles, great-granddaughters, all kind of, and including the twins. So we just want to bring forth a discussion. So on this island, we've had a few up at Kohala by the old courthouse. And then here today is technically the meeting that we want to discuss, and maybe a few handouts and things. But so we have a lot of hope that through remedies at the UN, we'll have our 2-year interim period, and then the Hawaiian Kingdom will come back online.
It's a wonderful vision, Shelley. Thank you for your participation, not only in the parade, but in calling the truth forward and seeing the kingdom rise again.
Thank you.
Think about their rules and invisible lines, all the signs and symbols used in attempt to define us. Think about their for-profit prisons and schools, similarities and motivation there just never fooled me. Think about the rebels and the rude boys I once knew, working crappy corporate jobs, covering up punk rock tattoos. So we throw away our youth as if we have a grip on time. Say any job is better than standing in a welfare line. So we throw away our childhood dreams, blame it all on destiny. Hiding the heart on my sleeve, I reluctantly gave her the best of me. This is a reminder to be mindful, to unplug and to unwind, to exercise your mind and spend more time outside. Read more books, not just memes. Read the lines and in between. Read the signs inside your dreams and question everything you see. Don't fall for illusion, all the static and confusion, all the energy we're using. Tell me, where does it go? Where does it come from? Things are moving faster than they ever have before, and we're all addicted to the shift in speed. Well, I'm centering, I'm bettering myself to get back to me. Yeah, things are moving faster than they ever have before, and we're all addicted to the shift in speed. Well, I'm centering, I'm bettering myself to get back to me. And I keep telling myself, don't miss out on life. Let your light shine bright. Whether it's weird or beautiful, let it be an honest work in progress. Let it be true. Let your light shine bright. Whoa. I feel like I'm never done. Climb till I level up until my best is better than. I refuse to settle up, I won't settle for status quo. Is this dramatic? No practice, no passion flows. Life is my passion's goal. When words are synonym for play, you're living it. Alchemy becomes limitless, the only obstacles within. Passion isn't passive, it's elastic and expansive, adaptive and attacking, free of panic and distraction. Focus when we know it like a poet, and I know it. You can write it down and quote it. Moving energies, emotions. So keep on moving, keep on doing all the things that you love doing. Truly something moving. This is the movement, finding our solutions, revolution, resolution, restitution. For all the stupid shit that we been doing. Don't miss out on life. Let your light shine bright. Whether it's weird or beautiful or both, let it be an honest work in progress. Let it be true. Let your light shine bright. Whether it's weird or beautiful, let it be an honest work in progress. Let it be true. Let your light shine bright.